So what we want to do inside Twinmotion on the material, on this default plane, which I just put there, and it has a default material on there. Well, I want to use the Megascans material. And Megascans is part of Epic, Twinmotion is part of Epic, so there's no reason why you can't use your Megascan assets. In my case, I'm not going to go to the Megascan. I want to show you Quixel Mixer as well. So Quixel Mixer is, let's say, a part of the Megascans where you can make your own stuff, but you can also load a default one, the samples. And this is what it looks like. For instance, this, here you go. So it's nice puddles, nice details, and it's basically built up like a kind of turbo Photoshop or whatever you want to call it. And if you change settings, you can create new outputs to your liking. So if you like this more than the default one, you just change it and maybe increase this a little bit or decrease it. Now, in this way, you can make your own material. Once you're happy with the result, you can export your materials. So we need a name. In this case, it's called wet mud. I need a location. I want to create a subfolder, which is called then wet mud. I want to add the resolution to my file names just to make my life easier, and I want to open the folder because I want to show you that these maps are being created. Format, choose PNG because Twinmotion likes that a lot. Resolution, be very careful not to select the 8K because it's in usual lots of cases it's way too much, but stick with 2 or maybe even 1K. That should be more than sufficient for certain applications. Now it will create the textures for you, and this is the naming convention Quixel Megascan uses by default: albedo, roughness, normal. Twinmotion, however, doesn't know albedo, roughness, and those kind of things. It knows color, it knows reflection, and in our case it also knows bump. So what we need to do is we need to put the texture, proper texture, inside the color map, and that's the albedo one. So if I just change the name to color, that makes sense. Then we have the roughness down here, and the roughness in Twinmotion terms is reflection. So I'm changing this into reflection. And then we had the bump. Like I said, we don't have glow in this material, don't need metalness, so we're ignoring those. Bump is in Megascan's naming convention is normal, so let me change this to bump. And like I said, we just need color, reflection and bump, so we don't need displacement. Actually, Twinmotion doesn't use displacement, so there's no need. So once this is all done, we're going to export these 3 maps. So now it's calculating at 2K, it creates the subfolder wet mud, and it creates the textures which you can reuse in Twinmotion. The color one, the reflection one, and the bump one. So now let's go to Twinmotion and apply those. So we're starting with the color. Replace the basic one which is in there, and we're going to take the color one. And that's step 1. So here we go, it is already there. Second thing we need is the reflection. Let me turn it down and load the texture which we have created for reflection. So wet mud, there we go, reflection. So black is going to be reflective, white is going to be non-reflective, and gray values anything in between. So edit, nothing changes because I put it to 0, just crank it up, and by magic you will see these puddle holes coming up. There you go. Now next thing is the bump. So we're gonna go here, open it up, Quixel wet mud, take the bump, apply it, and again we don't see anything yet because it's set to 0. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better what it actually does. Crank it up, and here you go. You can see the obvious changes which it makes inside the material and the look and feel of the material. So that's basically it. So if you have Megascans assets and you're using Quixel Mixer in this case, and once again I will show you how you do with Megascans materials itself. Make sure to rename those just to make your life easy. add the resolution. Be very careful with the high resolution is not always the best, trust me. It will slow you down, that's for sure, but it's not always the best. It's not always what you need. Create this and export it, apply it in Twinmotion and use it accordingly, and you got your new material down here, which you can of course rename into Wed Mud. And if you really like to save it, you can add it to your loose library as well, so you can reuse it over and over and over again. And that's it. It's that simple. Not too complicated, but that's life.